Oh my God, what's it been? 5 months since we've had this boy in studio?
I know, man. Listen, let's just get rid of this real quick. Grabbing the brisket, 2024 is all, I guess, just all on, man. We have been traveling already this year. We've already just been, I guess, San Antonio was a great trip for us. We've been missing people. And having Matt in the studio, and then we got the legendary
Big Owls
in the house. Yeah,
It hasn't been 5 months.
It's been more than that, bro. You kidding me?
It feels weird.
Kansas
right?
City.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Outside of Kansas, you haven't been in this studio.
I've never been in this
That's
studio.
what I'm saying.
what I'm
We've been in the
This
studio
is-
for a minute.
Yeah,
I know. This is all new to me.
We've been missing you, brother.
Can we talk about how your work is just ruining your life?
Did you try explaining to them that you're on a podcast and you have certain duties?
Yeah.
Well,
Obligations.
I mean, I could try, but
Yeah, just do that.
Right.
Okay, be better.
Do you feel sometimes that maybe the podcast thing is just getting too much now? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying our podcast. I'm saying everybody has a podcast now. Like everything I switch on social medias, I'm looking.
There's a lot of them out there.
It seems like there's been a podcast boom over the last like year and a half, and maybe COVID had it kind of like a little bit of a play in that, little skin in the game on that per se. But it feels like everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's just rolling it out there, and it's like maybe because it's gotten easier for people to be able to create one and put one out. But
That's because it's cheaper. Because technology's gotten so good that it's drove the prices down that you can afford a mic and you can afford a computer. Like
Right.
you can afford a laptop. The damn cell phone costs more than the damn 15 terabyte laptop you can buy. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
And there's amazing studios like the Charlie and Mike
That's what I'm
podcast studio here in
saying.
Pearland, Texas.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
can help you out and make it super easy for you. So, yeah.
who do you think's
Does make it
hurting
easy.
worse? Is it the news outlet? Is it the big entertainment? Are we talking
think-
like people that do daytime television shows?
No, they've all pivoted.
hurting?
They're all owned by somebody. They're all being streamed on every platform, or the ones that are known for those daytime TV shows, which people are subscribing to. It hasn't done anything. And
I don't know. I think
don't know
news.
about
I think
that.
traditional news is gone when the baby
Yeah.
boomers are gone.
Yeah,
Like they'll just
I have not watched regular
Yeah.
TV news in forever.
yeah.
well, I do all the time.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't listen to the radio either. Like I listen
listen
to
to radio,
podcasts
too.
and I listen to Spotify
yeah.
occasionally.
We're in the like information age. This is going to be the boom, and I feel like we're on the baby side of this, right? You look at the last 100 years, what we've been able to accomplish, and today, and now AI is like it's been out for like a couple of years now, and you're going to see this thing keep growing, growing. Jobs will be lost, things will be replaced. A whole different sector of jobs will open up, like things we've never even thought about.
That's probably true.
Hey, some of the best brisket is yet to come.
It's gonna be made by AI.
That's what I'm saying.
AI brisket.
brisket.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't know
No,
about that.
it's
AI,
gonna-
it's gonna have a Traeger that's hooked up to an AI system that analyzes and like figures out the best
exact
barbecue recipe.
protein. Yes.
Well, we talked about the AI smoker a few weeks ago. I mean, it's already a thing, but I don't think you can fit a brisket in it.
Oh.
Anyways.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
it the SBN, the Smoking Brisket Network? You know
Yeah. That's it. Mm-hmm. What you plugging them?
No, just creating in my head. Somebody's probably already copyrighted
Yeah,
and
I've
stole
never
it
heard
right
of
now.
that.
Oh, you're making it up.
We
Yes.
should probably do that.
What is it called?
All right, Raul, cut that out.
The SBN.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. The Smoking Brisket Network.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Smoking Brisket Network.
Somebody go buy that right now.
right.
The
Somebody,
Smoking Brisket
copyright
Network.
that.
I think we was the Super Bowl this
Trademark,
past weekend.
bitch.
Yes.
Yes,
How you doing, John?
I'm good. I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Oh, the Super Bowl? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Is that
Just saying.
Are we
I'm
poking
just-
the bear?
No,
Is that
I was
what happened?
In general,
I was genuinely concerned.
I didn't
House
reach-
divided. I
Hey,
was
It was
wondering.
brutal. It was a brutal freaking evening for me. I was bitter. I was pissed. I'm better now, but
Motherfucker.
freaking, I was frustrated that evening.
Was the wife just
my
digging
God.
into you the whole time?
Not really.
No?
I mean,
Okay,
she was
that's good.
excited
That's
and
good.
she celebrated a little bit, but not over the top. But even a tiny bit was too much for me at the moment. So I was just like, you know what? You celebrate.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed.
Like it's
Hey.
not the time. It's not the time.
it's
You're lucky
better to-
we have a TV on the wall right now. You're lucky you have that.
Right. Right. I've seen a lot of people knocking the damn TVs off the wall. I was like, I was frustrated. Don't
like,
get me wrong.
I paid a lot of good money for that.
I true. I wanted to punch something.
I wonder how many times John was like,
Go
"Holding."
shadow. You go shadow box
Exactly.
outside and just like punch the demons.
Well, you know what they say, right?
Exactly.
Did you
It's,
cry when you went to bed?
No, but it crossed my mind for sure. I was very frustrated.
Well, you know what they say, right? It's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all, right? I mean, you're fine.
I don't know. You know what? I was thinking about that. I was like,
good.
would it be better to just root for a team that's absolute garbage and never has a chance?
Here it comes.
You know what I
Hey,
mean? No, I'm not making
listen.
a dig.
Oh,
At least
okay.
you guys make the playoffs every year. It's just like
That's why I want to become a Detroit Lions fan. But
That's
now
what
they're
I'm
actually
s-
starting to
no,
get
right,
good,
like,
so I got to like go find something
you gotta
else.
pick somebody
Shut the
absolute
Not
garbage,
anymore. It's,
right?
it's not going to be
You're
them.
done.
If you pick somebody
Canceled.
garbage, you don't have to worry about being let down because you're already let down. It's just not an issue. I feel like I've got this 50-50 chance to win the lottery, but I already know ahead of time we're going to fucking lose.
Right.
Like 50-50, but not really.
Not really.
Fucking frustrating.
Wow.
Thanks for bringing it up, Matt. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Well.
Hey,
They have us on the hook every year that we're supposed to be great, and
This is our year.
it's always all year. That's right.
Jesus Christ.
So, you guys been doing any cooking this past week? I mean, I know we had the Super Bowl, so
I cook for Super Bowl.
Yeah. What do we throw down?
The biggest thing I did is I did some of those onion bombs. I don't know if anybody's been following our social media since we started, like 5 years ago. I posted some, some onion bombs, and I think it was just pictures at that point. Maybe I did a video. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but I did them again. But this time I used like some deer sausage that a friend of ours gave us instead of like just ground beef or whatever. Pepper jack cheese, onion, bacon. But I used the seasoning we got from Old Arthur's. I used a combination of a couple of them, a beef rub, and it's like it's all-purpose. I don't remember what the names were. And then I used his spicy sauce. It was legit.
Nice.
Like I ate that shit like an apple. It was really good.
Yeah, I did Old Arthur on 2 different things this past week. I bought some rainbow trout, and he's got a fish veggie version. Sprinkled that on there, just nothing but that. Cooked that in a pan with some butter. Came out fantastic.
Oh, rainbow trout's phenomenal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I mean,
I know, yeah. And that's like I eat it every week.
Pan fried.
Uh-huh.
we used to go
With some
fly
butter,
fishing every
you know.
year for rainbow trout.
Yeah. And then
Did you deglaze the pan when you fried it up?
I didn't deglaze. I just glazed.
Next, next year, what else are you going to do? Deglaze it.
Do you use a little? I like to use a little red wine when I deglaze it. Some shallots.
Yeah.
You know, South Park episode.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
I
okay.
have no idea what
Am I
you're
the
talking
only one
about.
that's like?
No,
Like,
it's,
what?
they
We're
made a
gonna
TikTok
pan-fry
out of
that
it
chicken.
as somebody actually like did the actual dish. It's so good.
It's like, was it Randy? Is like the
Chef,
what was the dad
Yeah, Randy.
in South Park? Yeah, he gets addicted to cooking or whatever it is, and I guess he takes a break or whatever. But he calls this little like hotline, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And it's almost like a sex line. He's like, "What?" He's like, oh, "I'm just pan frying some chicken right now," and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he's like. Then it gets into this like, okay, the chicken's done. I'm gonna pull it off and let it rest a little bit. Oh man, it's so moist. And he's like, and Randy's like, oh yeah. But there's a lot of brown bits and stuff stuck at the bottom of the pan. He's like, oh yeah.
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna deglaze it? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna deglaze it. And he's like, I was thinking about something, whatever, some red wine. Or he's like, oh yeah. And then he's like, I'm gonna chop up and put how about put some little onions, chop up some onions in there. He's like, I'm gonna do some shallots. The shallots won't take away from the natural flavors of the chicken. He's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. He's like, I'm like, oh fuck.
Hey,
Hilarious.
hey,
Oh my
you just
God.
recorded that.
That's a real.
You got to deal with that one. Hey, sorry about that, dude.
That's a real.
That's so
That's how you-
good.
hey, welcome to cancel culture. That's fantastic, dude. So yeah, I saw the videos you've been putting out, John. You've been killing it.
I've been putting them out there.
Yeah.
Somebody
For
has to.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Did you do anything with the trout? Any pictures? Anything?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I have a picture of the steak with the Old Arthurs, but I'll have to cut back to you on that. I did.
Okay.
I did a heart-shaped steak for Valentine's Day.
Very romantic.
You know that split ribeye.
No, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like,
Aw.
How cute.
Thank you.
so I've been thinking about I'm thinking about this video that I want to shoot, right? And I keep thinking about this certain food. Every time I go to a restaurant, I'm like, hey, do y'all have this? And I get the same look every single time. And I don't actually ask the waitress. I'm usually talking to Amy or whoever else. I'm like, hey, man, do they have a BLT on the menu? And I just keep looking, right? And I every once in a while I look around like, anybody got what are the sandwiches? I've been into sandwiches. I've been thinking about this damn BLT it's been driving me nuts, man. And for like last probably 3 weeks, I kept thinking like, what kind of BLT would I make? Like, how special could I make a BLT? Like, just all the different layers, you know, whatever else. So the other day, I go to a restaurant, and I probably the third, fourth time I said, man, you think you have a BLT on the menu? And they had this this club sandwich, right, which is basically a BLT with an extra piece of bread and some turkey or something, ham, I don't know.
So it's just a club sandwich.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so lettuce, you know, and then there's actually like some like mayo, and I can keep going if you want.
Please.
But so I go to the store, and we actually go and we're gonna pick some food up, and I made a comment. I was like, man, maybe I should just make this BLT, you know. So day goes by, nothing, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna go to the store. I told Lily, I said, let's go to the store. She's like, all right, cool. We go to the store. I bring up the BLT again. She's like, let's buy the stuff for the BLT. I'm like, great, I'll buy it all. Dude, I get home, did not get bread. Zero. Didn't have any bread in the house. Couldn't do it. Didn't get. Let's see. It was only had no lettuce. I'm like, literally, I bought bacon.
I can help you with that
Yeah.
that grocery list for that.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated.
It's got the B, the L, and the T.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then an extra B for
And
the
an extra
bread,
B,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have lettuce.
So you had bacon.
and,
Did you just eat bacon?
and tomato. I bought tomato.
Nice.
I was so aggravated, dude. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, we literally
Sounds like
went
the
there.
worst sandwich ever.
Yeah.
I know.
We were so close to getting a video from Jan.
Yeah. So close.
5 years in.
Is that what that whole story was for? Like,
No. But it allowed me another couple of weeks now, or a week or so, to think about how the perfect BLT should be concocted. I've got it in my head. I'm going to make the perfect BLT. I'm going to show a video of this. Expect it maybe the next day or two. Okay, I'll be putting it out.
is it BLT or is it BLT plus?
It's my version of a BLT.
Does it have more than bacon, lettuce, and tomato?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Leave us in
Maybe I'll
suspense.
make two.
It's like the LBGT plus.
Dude, you're stealing my thunder right
I
now.
was,
You can do
I was
that.
thinking
Why would you do
SPG
that?
plus, but okay.
You just stole my thunder. 'Cause I was
Oh my
literally.
God.
Come on.
So I've been cooking like, I don't know if this is kind of like a not necessarily a faux pas, but you're mentioning bacon. So I've been doing trying to eat a lot of protein for the mornings or whatever. So
Yeah. Look, you be
it's kind of
bulking,
hard to just fry up bacon in the morning and other proteins, mainly bacon. Why I mentioned in the story, but it's kind of hard to do it in the morning when you're like, okay, I got to cook, clean, get out the door, unless I'm just going to leave a shit ton of dishes for Laura to clean up. I'm like, I'm not going to
Do that.
that person.
Yeah, be that
So-
person.
What I've been doing is like just getting a whole, just like a pound of like thick cut bacon from HEB, whether it's like Wright bacon. Have you tried Wright bacon?
Yeah.
The hickory money, dude. It's like
Right?
Wright,
Like RITE?
WRIT.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I think it's W. Yeah, we're not spelling. Wright bacon.
WRIGHT.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I get it out. I cook in the oven. So I'm not frying this up. So I'll cook in the oven. I'll get a sheet pan out. I'll line it with parchment paper. I'll throw the whole pack of bacon on it. And usually a pound will fill up this whole sheet pan. And I'll do it probably, I think it's like $3.75, $3.85 for about 25 to 30 minutes. Dude, money. It renders the bacon down. It's perfectly like, it's not borderline like crispy, just like crumbling, just like, you know, you're making bacon bits, but it's also not, it also has a little bit of a chew to it, but it's a thick cut bacon. You can't go with these not small, but you can't go with the thin. So it's a thick cut bacon. I cook it all at once, ready to go for like the next like 3 or 4 days. I just pull it out in the morning.
Yeah, James. You're
Dump a little bit in the
cooking bacon
microwave.
Yeah, did you just
boom,
discover
eggs,
cooking bacon in
boom.
the
I
oven?
know.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, I am. Maybe
Like,
I am.
So wait, tell us again how you make bacon.
Hang on, I'm gonna
Like
go
if
get
you
some grain on
motherfuckers,
this.
if you motherfuckers
Yeah.
have been doing this for like a long time, and you
have,
haven't
yeah,
told me,
no.
then
no,
shit.
hang on.
Made bacon
I'm gonna
in
go
the-
against the grain on all this.
This motherfucker.
I like my bacon out of the microwave.
Yeah, okay. Great. We've
I
been
don't
doing
think
this since we were
I've never
kids.
done that either.
I like it crispy to where you can pick it up and it's straight.
Like crunchy?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I want to chew
I don't-
mine and be able to blow a
I
bubble.
don't. No, I don't want it chewy at all.
Like in
That's
between.
fucking
I like-
I feel like
disgusting.
we're gonna have an episode on bacon right here
Yeah,
because
I like the little
No.
chewy parts.
Hey, can I just stop you for a second? I like how the fact that we just watched you ramble about this whole story about bacon in the oven, and literally we're like, dude, it's bacon in the oven. And
Hey,
I
you
want
just
to
told a story for
appreciate-
15 minutes about not making a BLT.
No,
so I don't think we need to.
No. I've already been flirting with the sandwich now. I'm saying the perfect BLT.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay,
So
perfect BLT.
you almost got the ingredients to
First
maybe
time.
make.
I
a
had to go
perfect
back to the
BLT.
store, get whatever else, some beefsteak tomatoes. It makes a
literally
difference.
tells you
right?
the
Some
name.
heirloom.
What's
Yeah.
included?
I love that I'm not the only one fucking
if
with
you
Dan.
cook the bacon in the oven, that gives you several other days to go back to the store and get all the other shit you need
Yeah, no
to
kidding.
make a BLT.
Hey, put your bacon in the oven at 175. All right, 4 days later,
Cold smoke that
you're
shit.
good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Hey, so listen. This episode is not just about bacon. It's not about like our idiot friends, cousins story, whatever else. But we do actually have a show for you, and it pertains to barbecue, right? So today we're going to be talking about some all things competition brisket, some to dos, not to dos, whatever. We're going to get into possibly maybe our own take on it or whatever else, right? But it's coming up. I don't know if we're paying any bills or getting to.
Yeah, we want to do some hot off
barbecue
the
news.
grill
Some barbecue news.
barbecue news. So it's brought to you by the NBBQA and the Barbecue News Magazine. First thing I got here is the Houston Barbecue Festival. If you're in the Houston area, and a lot of our listeners are in the Houston area, or at least in Texas,
Let's meet up. Let's go.
they're going to be there this year. We got invited to come out and do our thing, record. It's going to be a freaking blast. I haven't been out there, but I don't know if you guys have ever gone to this festival before.
Nope.
No, nobody.
I'll be honest. I never heard of it.
Really?
The Houston Barbecue Festival.
Yeah.
Not related to the Livestock Show and Rodeo
No,
barbecue.
it's
Correct.
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like I want to say like 30, at least like 30 different restaurants that go out there.
30
like-
plus different restaurants or catering
Vendors,
slash pop
whatever.
up vendor.
Yeah, and these are like
all top
big
of
ones.
the top of the line in these barbecue restaurants, and they all set up and they I guess they make a side, not a side,
Samples.
they make a sample, so you can get up and it's like a plate of burnt ends from Truth Barbecue.
Yeah.
Or you have Snow's Barbecue over here. I don't know who's all there, but I'm just like,
yeah, I don't know all
thinking
of them. I
in the
know
past,
some
yeah.
like Corkscrews, Mimsy's. I think Truth's gonna be there. There was a lot of names. I think Killen's been there in the past. I don't know if it's gonna be there.
Hey, we
I
should
had
go
a
to that.
list. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be recording. It's Sunday, April 14th, and it goes from 1 to some other time. I don't remember, 1 to 5 or 1 to 4. It's not like an all day thing. It's like an afternoon thing. But if you sign up or you do their VIP admission, you get there at noon. You get a couple extra benefits. I think it's like $65 to get in for regular, $125 if you do VIP. You get like extra drinks, you get free T-shirts, this kind of shit, and an extra hour. But it's all you can eat. And
Yeah.
$65, all
Just
you can
hang
eat
out
from
and
the
drink.
best
I
barbecue
get my money
places for
worth in
4
that.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get your
And
money's
we'll
worth
be
for sure.
there,
And we will
so-
be there hanging out. It's going to be super fun, and I'm sure I'll be mentioning this again. But yeah, Houston Barbecue, HOUBBQ.com, and I'll put a link.
You say when it
Hey,
is?
that's on a Sunday.
Hey, when you sign
It's on
up,
Sunday, April
I gotta
14th.
call in. I
April
gotta
14th.
call in sick on a Monday, man. It just sucks.
When you
you
sign
know?
up for that, is there like a place where you can just like hashtag grabbing the brisket? Or when you talk to like Susie or Alicia or Mandy or whoever,
What?
And go, hey, grabbing the brisket told me to buy these tickets. Is there like a referral?
There, I don't know if there is, but if there's anywhere when you do buy your tickets
Does it
online to
give
put
us more
something,
brisket?
go ahead and grab them in the brisket in there. Yeah, maybe. I have
Yeah.
no idea. I have no
That's
idea
not,
about any
guys.
of that stuff.
Yeah,
That was
don't-
not something set up. If
don't
that's what
waste
you're
your
asking.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
No,
Not a thing.
We're trying
Don't
to
try
get more
that.
brisket. We're trying to get more beer. So
Yeah. Just tell them. Just tell them Grabbers sent you. Large Marge sent you.
let's go.
That's good. Okay, the
off
next
the
up
rails.
is Smoke Slam.
Okay.
Did you guys realize that Smoke Slam is the name for the other competition out there at Memphis in May?
Smoke Slam.
Oh, that's what they're calling it.
That's what
I
they're
didn't
calling
know.
it.
I didn't know it had a
Dude,
name.
how much money are they giving away?
All the money. The prize pool is $250,000. May 16th through the 18th. Like I said, they do have a name now. Presented by Memfo Memfo presents Memfo. That's what they're calling it. I kept
Like
thinking
Nympho?
I kept thinking it was a typo, but it's like Memphis Memfo.
Hey,
I think they probably should have rethought that one. but-
listen, you want to enter 2 teams? One goes to Memphis in May, the other one goes to Smoke Slam.
It wouldn't be a bad idea because there's
I'm
a
just
lot
saying.
of money. 250,000, 50,000 as we know for first place for the grand champion. Memphis Barbecue Network and World Food Championship sanctioning this thing. They're going to have whole hog, ribs, pulled pork, desserts, bacon, apparently duck, poultry, beef, seafood, wing. There's all kinds of
Is
entries
there any
on this
brisket?
thing.
I don't hear any brisket.
Shit, I didn't see brisket on there either. Maybe there's not. I don't know.
Oh,
They had microwave.
He
They
ain't
have bacon,
Texas
so
no more.
I can do microwave
Never
bacon.
mind. It ain't worth it.
it's an open
Listen,
category, whatever you
If
want.
you ain't cooking the king, I don't want you.
Did you ever have that like contraption that you put in the microwave that the bacon goes in?
100%. I still have it.
What's it
He
called?
still uses it.
You talking about like the
Yeah.
bacon cooker?
It's
Yeah.
like forever
It's
chemicals.
like angled and has like the grease deal in the
Yeah.
bottom.
Okay.
It's good.
All right.
I
So
still
it's
have
good
one
for
from
you.
like the 80s. It's like
It's when the plastic breaks down and goes into your body, and you never know any difference.
Got
right?
all the
All right.
PTs
forever
going to your
chemical.
body. Let's go.
If you need more information on
It's great bacon.
Smoke Slam, barbecue at memfopresents.com is the email. You can reach out to them. And there's a link if you want to just sign up as a team. It's a really long link. I'm not going to read it. I'm
read
just
it out.
I'm gonna put it down.
Let's read it out real quick.
Okay, it's HTTP. I'm not going to read it. It's really long.
Right.
And then the last thing I got here is Famous Dave's All-Star Barbecue Series is about to kick off. And apparently it's I've never heard of this before. It's a bunch of competitions that they host all over the country that can get you basically your golden ticket into the World Food Championship. So, and I guess Famous Dave's must be the sponsor. $1,000 grand champion, which whatever, that's not like crazy, but the thing is you get your golden ticket. Also, if you're a reserve grand, you get your ticket into the World Food Championship for barbecue. But what I
so
did
grand and reserve both get in.
correct.
Oh, cool.
Correct.
I need a ticket.
Yeah. Oh, categories are chicken, ribs, and wild card. Again, no brisket. I don't know. I don't know what the hell. What is happening here? I don't know what's going on here.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So wild card, everybody's going to enter a brisket.
That's what I would do.
You would think. I mean,
No,
So,
man.
but what I
They're
noticed
entering
is
some pork dish or something. They're not.
Bacon wrap shrimp.
Yeah, bacon wrap pork dogs.
no.
the
You know,
list.
I don't know.
It's like usually open. You can't put in brisket.
The list of places hosting these cook-offs. There's only one in Texas, and it's in El Paso.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
It
Guess
just
we're not
seems
going.
bizarre to me.
hey, what? Only one what?
Only one of these cook-offs is being hosted in Texas, and it's in El Paso.
Where are the other ones at?
Let's see. We got 3 in California. We've
Ugh.
got Washington, Nevada,
Well,
Colorado.
I guess we all know where it came from.
If
I
we should
mean,
enter. We'd
North
definitely
Dakota,
win.
Tennessee, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Iowa, and Maryland.
Yeah. So what's by us besides Texas?
A lot of northern places.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, the next closest one I would guess is probably Iowa, which is not that close. So, anyways, that's what I got. There'll be links for all of these down below. So just scroll on your phone, just scroll down and see those things.
You were scrolling up.
Or if you're on the
No, that was
internet,
down.
just
I
use
was
the little
touching
mouse
here and then
button.
rolling up.
Little scroller on the mouse.
Yeah, you can do a mouse scroller if you want. If you listen to your podcast on your
Hey, can
computer, I
can
guess.
I get a beer real quick? I'm sorry, man. I
Anyways.
need some libations to get through
That's
this
really
thing.
great.
You got to turn your koozie over upside down.
Oh shit! Run the flag up like I do at
That's not a goozy.
Juanito's.
That's what we got for the hot off the grill barbecue news. Shall we cut to a little commercial break here? Hear from one of our friends in Oddpods Media, and maybe hear something from our buddy Frank over there. He's going to answer some questions from our listeners.
Frank knows.
You know, smoking meats isn't just cooking, it's an art form. The aroma, those deep flavors, the patience, it's a whole experience.
And behind every great artist, there's the right set of tools. If you're aiming to build your own barbecue pit or dreaming of a custom design tailored just for you, SmokerBuilder.com has your back.
Led by Frank Cox, their expertise is unmatched. Offering blueprints, kits, and insights, they turn every barbecue dream into a flavorful reality.
Imagine your backyard, the center of attention, and at the heart of it, a smoker that's uniquely yours.
It's more than just equipment. It's about crafting those unforgettable moments. And with the guidance of Frank and his team, you're setting the stage for magic.
So whether you're a seasoned pit master or taking your first steps into the smoky world,
Head over to SmokerBuilder.com, fill up your carts, and be sure to use the promo code GRABTHEBRISKET in all caps to receive your 10% discount. Smoke on.
threw down some ribs last night, used the Chicks That Smoke Spicy Rub. Mind blown.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like the Chicks That Smoke Spicy Barbecue All-Purpose Rub, dude, it is a game changer for sure.
Yeah, if you folks have not given it a shot, you need to.
Honestly, your barbecue will thank you.
Chicks That Smoke, it's at sucklebusters.com. Bro, you know that new Dalstrong knife I just got?
The ridiculously sharp one that I almost cut myself on? Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But seriously, it made such a difference in my grilling. Every cut is so clean and precise.
And it's true what they say, a sharp knife is actually a safer knife.
That's accurate. And if our listeners want a new badass knife, they need to go check out Dalstrong.
We got a discount link below right in our podcast description, and just be careful, they are sharp.
Dalstrong, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Dave, host of the Beer in Front podcast. Every week I'll talk about a beer that maybe we've forgotten along the way while we're getting those check-ins and badges. Sometimes I'm going to talk about a new beer that has potential to be a classic. You could check out the podcast wherever you listen, or you could catch videos over on YouTube and TikTok. Remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. Cheers!
And now it's time for Frank Knows What's Wrong With It. As always, sending your questions to 434-829-2299 or shoot us an email at info@grabtheminthe.brisket.com.
Hey guys, Frank Cox here, the barbecue pit engineer, and I'm back with another question. I don't know who this one came from because there's no name next to it. So if you asked this question, make sure and let the brisket boys know. Sorry about that. So anyway, here we go. I got to look down and read the question. What are the typical wear and tear areas I should be aware of when building my smoker? Anything I could do to minimize these? That's a great question, whoever you are. So anyway, here we go. We're going to answer it. So the only thing that really comes to mind right now is going to be stuff like log racks, places you build fires, the actual, like if you insulate a firebox, stuff like that. So something to watch out for in that case, like the log rack is always going to be subjected to big, heavy heat, long, hot cooks, things like that. So if it's too thin or cheaply made, then it could actually wear out and get a hole in it pretty quick. I prefer to actually, whenever I build a log rack, if I use expanded metal, which is like a 3/4 number 9, which means it's 9 gauge when they start it before they stretch it out. 3/4 means the size of the hole that's in the mesh. And that's gonna be flat, of course. I use that kind of material. If I'm using that, I'll put down one layer that's welded into my log rack, and then I'll take another piece of it that's like a sacrificial layer, and I'll turn it and rotate it the opposite direction. What will happen is that top piece can be pulled out, disposed of, and another piece can be put back in, but I don't lose all the air that's coming through the bottom of that log rack. Now, you can also do like a flat piece of steel, 1/4 inch thick or whatever, and you can cut slots in it. I personally don't like doing that as much as unless I have to, because you'll render coal bed that'll come out too early. So what you can do instead is do that and put a piece of expanded metal on the inside. The thicker material on the steel will last longer, and then the layer that's in there just laying in place is going to help plug up those holes so it doesn't render your coal bed out too fast, and also you can throw that away and replace it with another piece. Anyway, as far as insulated fireboxes go, because I brought that up too, what happens on an insulated firebox, and I actually prefer not to insulate mine, but if you have one, look on the inside of the firebox in the corners around it, usually up on top or on the sides, and look for those welds. Typically what happens in a firebox like that, when you insulate one, especially if it's a square firebox inside of another square, the inside layer of material is hotter and moving at a faster rate and expanding than the outside layer. And so what can happen is you'll have this pushing motion, pushing apart those plates of steel. And it won't be the weld itself that cracks necessarily. It'll be a heat trail at the edge of the heat affected zone on the weld that will actually bust. And so it'll look real ripply and weird. So, and spaced away from the weld. All that is an indicator that the firebox was probably overfired at some point, or it was subjected to high heats for really long times, and the outside was not heated up at the same rate, you know. So those are two areas that you're gonna run into some issues. And in order to avoid the latter one I talked about with fireboxes cracking and stuff like that, simply don't insulate your firebox. You won't have no trouble. Anyway, appreciate you guys sending your questions. If you want to be like this guy, whoever he is that didn't say his name, make sure you say your name, and you can be entered into the giveaway that the Brisket Boys are doing. Who knows what you're going to win? They're going to give you some instructions. See ya.
So if you have questions for our buddy Frank Cox over there at smokerbuilder.com, don't forget to send them in. It's 434-829-2299, or you can just email us info@grabtheminthebrisket.com, or reach out on any of our social medias, and we will pass it right along.
By the way, my dad's been trying to hit me up on getting a free ugly smoker from him. He's like,
free one, huh?
It's like every week he asks me again. He's like, "Hey, can you get me one of them? Like, you can go there and put our code and get one yourself." But
Dad, go get your dad a Super 55. Buy your dad
go
a
ahead
Super
and just
55.
contact Frank, and you guys can just
That'd
work
be
it
a
all
great
out.
Father's Day
That's right.
present for your dad.
it would be. What is the code?
Grab the brisket, all caps.
There you go, Dad.
Smokerbuilder.com.
Wow.
No, listen, I think you have a smoker coming your way. Don't worry. Don't worry, Papa. I think Matt.
You know,
Matt-
you know
Matt's
what?
got
It
you.
actually would, because he finally sold his business,
Yeah.
and he's finally going to get to retire, and he's probably going to need some time to, smoke some good barbecue.
Hey.
Dude, I love it. God bless.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
I almost already did that.
You are retired.
These yahoos right now, they're trying to they're
Yahoo?
yahoos
Yahoos.
in the government. They're trying to extend the retirement age to like 70.
We talked about
We
this.
talked about that last
You
time.
can't do this.
I'm like, come on, man.
no, we're not doing that.
I want to be like Mike. I want to retire.
Yeah.
Well, my dad's over 70. He's already doing it.
Oh, my God.
Don't be like Mike.
I'm gonna riot if they raise our age over 60 for us.
What are you talking about? Oh, for yours. Yeah.
We can retire at 60.
Yeah, but not when you get to a certain age, it won't affect you. It affects somebody like in their 30s.
Well, fuck them.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what somebody said about
Hey,
you.
man.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's what happens.
Well, we're different. Like y'all are Social Security. I'm railroad retirement. So
Yeah.
I'm putting in 72-hour weeks.
Well, just don't do that.
Well, at some point, it's got to be unsafe, right? At a certain age to still be working on the freaking
That-
railroad.
They bad order
I'll
you.
be
That's what it's called. Like, you're bad ordered. You can't be here anymore.
I think you got trouble sleeping. You might need to have some FMLA.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
Hey, let's get into the this competition barbecue talk.
Little Brizzy talk?
Yeah, a little Brizzy talk. I think we're always discussing brisket talk. We're always talking about this on a backyard level or on a competition level. Like, what can we do better? What are we doing wrong? Or anything else, or just the how-tos, the methodology about going behind it and thinking, okay, setting up for one, and the whole process and mind frame you have to be able to, I guess, be at your best. So I know we had a few thoughts about this, whatever else. James, if you want to lead us off,
Yes, I'd
appreciate
love to
it,
leave you
brother.
off.
Yeah, come on.
It's like that.
ready.
Yeah, it's,
Ready to go. Deer in headlights.
it's like
Threw
that
you
kid
under
getting
the
called
bus.
out
There
in
it
the
is.
middle of class.
No?
Like, hey, are you ready for your presentation? Yes,
You're good.
I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting into the competition barbecue talk scene or whatever, and like I mentioned to Jan earlier, we fielded a lot of questions with people that are just like competition barbecue. Then we fielded a lot of questions with people that are trying to just master brisket, and hey, that's what we're all about: just grabbing the brisket and the master of the brisket, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of.
Get the
I'm trying to
t-shirt.
like
I
put
like
a
to
Get
t-shirt.
that shirt.
I like to think we're
whatever.
more than that, but yeah, I mean, I think we can speak to both volumes, as far as the backyard cook, the person trying to get into it, and it's always the person that it gets it kind of there, like, man, this was good, but I can see the possibility. It's like hitting that perfect shot in golf. You're hooked,
Correct.
whatever else.
Yeah.
And-
We had it, and I shot a couple of pictures to Raul, and he'll throw them up here as we're going through this discussion. But
Yeah.
you'll notice some pictures in our very beginning of cooking brisket. You'll see like, okay, well that looks weird, like, but we didn't know any better. It's like you're pulling brisket out of the package, and you're just like trimming off. You're like, I don't like that stupid fat, and you're gouging into a brisket.
Yep.
And then you're removing stuff, and then, hey, what throwing rub out, and now it's going into the smoker. And then as we transition into our knowledge or whatever as far as doing briskets, we learn on how to trim a brisket.
Yep.
And I think one of the key aspects on my end, it was like, okay, so I was always afraid of, let me back up. I wasn't afraid of, but I paid a shit ton of money for this brisket. I'm not cutting all this shit off for me to just like throw in the trash and just so it's aesthetically pleasing for people to look at. So I'm saving all this, I'm eating all of it and all stuff like that. But as we learn, as we progress in our, okay, so you can trim a little bit off. You can save those trimmings. We can start turning these trimmings into making hamburgers, and if you want to reduce it down to make tallow and all that fun stuff.
All that.
Right. Even for a backyard
all that
brisket, right?
goodness.
You can trim your back. We're obviously a competition. We're trimming a shit ton more, but even for your backyard brisket, you can trim that shit.
Correct.
You can use that for something else.
Yeah,
Matt,
because
that's
sometimes
a,
those little tiny end pieces or the
sexy brisket.
every once in a while you buy a brisket in a pack and you did the whole bin test and you're like, this is money.
The taco test?
The taco test. And then
not a
you
thing.
get it back to the house and you open up the little package and that butcher did you wrong. He's like, he's
about as
totally sent
thin.
a FU to
It's
you.
so thin.
Yeah, he's so thin. There was a flap that was tucked underneath.
Yeah, right.
And you open up that little stupid ass bat wing,
Right.
and you're
Slice
like,
down the middle. It's got
"There's
a
nothing
fillet.
I could do with that. I got to cut it all off." And then it looks like that little giant like orange piece of brisket that we did earlier. I mean, there's so many things you can learn, and it's hard to go over a podcast episode.
Yeah.
To kind of teach you how to do it. But hey, we're going to go into it. We're going to start intro. I know Jan's got a lot of, we kicked a lot of ideas about what not to do, right?
Yeah, it's more of like the things I think that are hurting people when they're in a competition, right? So, but I want to talk about the competition side of this, the mind frame of it, and then also the prep. Prep is king and whatever. But yes, I definitely want to go through this. And my thought to this was saying more of like seven things that kill your competition barbecue, your chances of winning. What are seven things people are doing that are trying to compete but just can't get and you know the top 10, right? I think if you're in the top 10, you're becoming very consistent and you're always in the top 10. You know what I mean? That's a very like, hey, you're dialing it in. But for the person that's always competing and starting to get discouraged and is starting to like, oh man, it's just a party, man. Who cares? I don't care, you know, whatever else. And you know, like in back in the mind, they really do because everybody wants to fucking win, right? So what are seven things that people are doing to sabotage or whatever? So I threw out a couple of things earlier. I don't know if y'all saw those, but yeah. What do you think, Matt?
I want to know where these things are.
So I mean, I think in my opinion, one of the biggest things is that I think that people don't maintain their fires. I think you have a spiked fire, and then you have a very low fire, and you think it's going to average out, and you undercook your meat, you know, and then your party starts or it's time to turn in, and you did not get your brisket done in time, and you're thinking, well, it was on. I mean, like it was still had a lot of heat in there, and I don't know why it didn't get where it was, and you're making all these excuses, but at the end of the day, it's because you didn't tend your fire, and I think that kills a lot of people.
That would be the number one reason
Yeah,
why you fail.
just don't tend the fire. Like you spiked it. You couldn't maintain the barbecue pit.
I would say as far as like competition, under seasoning.
Yeah, but that's right. One bite,
Lack of
man.
flavor.
It's
You have to over season for competition.
That's true.
Yeah, it's the ultimate Dave Portnoy pizza thing.
One bite.
One bite.
Yeah.
You know, you only get one freaking bite to judge this damn thing. And you don't put enough seasoning. You think for what you do at the house, and you're like, man, yeah, but if you only had to take one little morsel of that, like,
Exactly.
and had to judge it, is that the best freaking morsel you could give me? No? Okay, then. That's why you didn't get freaking first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're not practicing like in a time frame that you will be doing when you're out there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like
That's true.
there's so
Practice
many people who
important.
can cook an amazing brisket, but they can't cook it in that time frame that they have to do it at a competition.
and when you're at
if
home-
you haven't tried it at
Or
home,
you're
then
not
you're
consistent
it's your
with it,
first
right?
time when you're going there. You're gonna have trouble.
Dude, if you're that vice versa, right? So you're in trouble to where so much that you're like, well, at home I have like 12 hours to make dinner tonight, right? Well, at a competition you may have 8, or you have as much time as you want, but you don't do your timetables enough or whatever it is, right? Because I guess you're used to putting it on in the morning, and you're like, no, it's fine. At 8 o'clock we usually eat. We're like, hey, it's due at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's 3.
That's where-
whatever
Right.
it is in
Yeah.
that competition.
That's where trimming it down to a consistent size can help you, and you know your times table better. 'Cause if you're cooking one at home, you might be cooking a 15-pound brisket one time and an 18-pound brisket the next time, a 12-pound brisket. It's not all going to be the same, but when you're doing a competition, you need to know pretty well how long it's going to take. So you want to make. That's why you see those guys trim it down. It looks nice, but also they're going to know almost exactly how long this thing's going to
Yeah,
take.
they're like,
to cook.
that's
Yeah,
5 hour.
you weigh it
Right.
out.
You're going to know. Yeah, some of these guys probably are out there weighing their damn briskets and knowing exactly how much it weighs when they put them on.
Yeah,
You know?
I know. I think you have
And
to.
altitude. That was
Altitude
another thing that
difference,
we
too.
learned from like Aaron Leslie told us about that.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I think I think altitude is definitely if you're used
you're a
to
traveling
cooking,
cook.
if you're used to cooking in that area, I'm just.
Yeah, that's
but
different.
I think altitude. Not separating. I think people are cooking the flats and the points together, and I'm not saying you can't. I think you need to be shaving the brisket down to a point that you're probably losing a lot of the point, and you're getting just a finite amount of that bottom point or the top of that, whatever it is, to where you're getting those cuts that have mixture of both. But it's better than having this big section, right? A big section of the point sitting out there that you're not going to turn in. You're just cooking it for no reason. So I think timetables. I think people don't realize that the brisket was going to hit 205, 208, 210 in 5 hours. They're like, holy shit! I just cooked the brisket in 5 hours. Boom. I always cook my brisket in 8 hours, 9 hours. So cooking to a time versus a temperature, I think that kills a lot of people.
That's true. And I think a lot of that goes back to what you said earlier, is it's all about
Yeah, okay. It's fine. Hey, we all have phones now. We all realize it.
My bad. It was,
think-
it was an Amber Alert.
Yeah,
you can't mute those.
it all goes back to practice, right? Like if you're gonna practice, if you're gonna trim your brisket down, trim the point off, or if you're gonna separate it, don't let the first time be in competition. You need to practice doing however you're gonna do it in competition before you go to the competition.
Yeah, like I don't know if you can see the picture that we're talking about right now that's been up on the screen for a while, and hopefully this one shines through. But this is an A motherfucking plus brisket. This thing this epitomizes what a brisket should look like. This thing was so tender. It wasn't just shredding or anything apart, but it had so much flavor. You can look at the double-sided smoke ring going back on it. On that, you can also see that this thing was cut down tremendously to where you're getting right there, those spots right there. You're getting a little bit of that bottom side point and the top of that flat as it rolls right up right there. That is a money brisket, money shot.
So a lot of people get fearful of trimming off too much fat
Yep.
on the bottom. But if you get to the point where you can master your skills as far as cooking and smoking a brisket, you can get to the point where you can trim that fat cap off to a certain extent where you can expose and you can create a smoke ring on both sides.
That's it.
And then when that judge sees that slice sitting in the box and you see that ring just going all the way around, and then they take a piece of it and they bite it and like, holy shit, that's good, that's juicy or whatever. And then they go to the next person, and the next person might have like just a faint. And look, they say smoke ring doesn't matter.
Oh, it
does
definitely
matter,
it does
man.
matter when you're being judged.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they see that, and that next person that comes up, and there's like a small smoke ring coming up on top.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks good. And then down below, there's nothing or whatever. And the one they just judged before, like it tasted great. The smoke ring looked great. I mean, it actually make a ring.
It's the memory.
It
Yeah,
made a ring going all the way around.
Yeah. No, it's you're right. People remember and people hold back in judging. So you got to watch out what timetables you're turning in on and whatever else. But what's something else right now that it is just I think I it's killing your barbecue game. Like you're always on the outside looking in. What's that one thing that's so we got so we
Can I
have,
take a guess of something on your list?
well I mean I put together a few things. We've talked about
I have a
bunch
question.
of them. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. How do I make a good brisket?
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, what's your favorite cut of beef?
Yeah,
No.
right.
Do you think that it makes a difference, or do you think people should, when they're going into a competition, say either they're new at competition, or maybe they do them all the time, but there's a lot of folks out there that are always cooking, say, choice briskets or prime briskets, and they're like, I'm going to do a competition. I'm going to go do the most expensive brisket I can find, Wagyu. Is it better to do that, or is it better to stick with what you know and you cook all the time and do that?
I think you put the best brisket out there you can afford, and then you master how to make those briskets.
But you have to practice on that
That's what
same
I'm
kind
saying.
of brisket.
Like, you may not
Yeah.
be able to afford to practice on a
So-
Wagyu brisket.
so
So,
what-
do you do a Wagyu
well,
in
if you-
competition, or do you not do
I
it?
would-
So what I
would
said
not.
is what you can afford.
What you can afford to practice with, or what you can afford to cook in competition?
I would say
I think-
you don't switch it up.
No, I think when you're competition, you put the best brisket you can afford out there.
But you have to practice on that too.
Yeah, like it
No,
doesn't. You
have
think
to
it cooks the
practice-
same?
You have to. No, I think if you learn how to cook barbecue properly and you maintain your temperature and you check your brisket and you're consistently probing it and monitoring it the entire cook of the time, and you do all the steps, I think you're going to have an award-winning recipe. And I don't think that. I think if you don't do those things and you act like you cook this Wagyu brisket the same way you cook the choice one you've been cooking for the last 6 years, and you know what I mean, and you don't deviate and you're just so arrogant about it, then yeah, you deserve to make a shitty brisket because you're going to undercook it, or you possibly could overcook it.
That's what I'm saying. Is like you have to practice
But nobody
on the
says-
same kind of brisket that
No,
you're
you
going
don't
to turn in.
No,
Yeah.
you just
Well, let me
practice
ask you
your
this.
craft.
Let me ask you this. So there's a lot of people that are probably listening and they're into the competition barbecue. And it's like, what is the one most aspect of doing competition barbecue, judging style? So
What's the most important thing? Is tenderness.
What's the most important thing? Tenderness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You got to nail tenderness. Like, and that doesn't matter. You can nail tenderness in choice, select, on up to Wagyu.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all going to be the same, but as you progress up, it's going to be a little more juicier.
That's right.
Right.
Not as dry.
You can get
Not as
tender
dry.
choice.
Right.
It's just gonna be a little dry.
Correct. But that's the one
But you can't be delusional either. And I think a lot of people get very delusional on their barbecue. Wow. Everybody says my barbecue is good. We all have people that we know that say your barbecue is the best, right? That's normal, okay? But it's like being able to like adapt and be real with yourself and go, this is actually not good. I did not want this texture. Think about what the texture you wanted. Think about every single aspect of the brisket you think is the best. When you get that one money piece and you're like, oh my God, this is so good, then think about how to fucking do that or whatever else. You know what I mean? Like people get so locked in, they don't change. And I'm really bad about this because I want to change all the time. And I think cooking with you, James, you made it a point where like, hold back, dude. Like we're winning with this. We've been very successful with this. Don't try to change the world right now, right? And then
The chicken.
Normally, yeah. Well, the brisket. I mean, like normally when I'm like, dude, I'm running a different recipe. We're not going to do the same recipe. It's like we're getting second place on this and brisket out of, I don't know, 300 teams or 280 teams or whatever else. And I'm looking at James. James is like not changing the thing right now. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but it's just that I want to change usually, whatever else. But I don't think you can be afraid to change. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is just another take on my grade of brisket choice.
Yeah.
Do you think it makes a difference as to the size of the cook-off? Because I know that we've even talked about this. If you're going to go do a cook-off like Austin that has 250 teams or 300 teams or whatever, we're like, yeah, you have to buy the best grade. Or if you're going to go do one at a local VFW where the judges are like, they've never tasted Wagyu in their life, do you go to prime there? Or do you say, nope, just do Wagyu no matter what?
Maybe.
It depends on the competition that shows up.
No, I don't know, man. I think again, you buy the best brisket you can afford, and you make it work for you. I can't say that you should go buy Kobe or Wagyu beef I do think that if you're really trying to be consistent and you're trying to win at these cook-offs, at these bigger cook-offs, and when I say bigger, I'm saying 30 teams, 25 and up. I think if you're trying to be really successful there, then yeah, you probably need to bring Wagyu to the table, because I think everything else you're getting, and you're going to bring the one select or choice or prime brisket that never graded out to the mix, and you're just going to fall short in how moist it is,
Right.
How much moisture it held.
Everybody pretty much on the same page here?
Can
You
I
guys all think the same
Can
thing?
I get it? Like, yeah, no, I definitely, yeah. Can I get a little controversial? Can I suggest that these people that are cooking, that has the money to buy these higher end
Richies.
pieces of meat, that they're overcompensating
No. Yeah, you can.
For what?
because they don't know how to cook a real brisket. You know what I mean?
Dude, these guys, listen.
I wouldn't say that.
Not always. No,
Hey,
that's not always
you
the
got these
case.
badass cooks out here. Listen, who do you think started all
They're
this
all
stuff?
sponsored and
man?
shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, they've cooked select and choice and prime, and these guys have cooked everything, man.
Right. No, I
I
get
think
that. I
there's
get
some
that
of what you're
100%.
saying, but
I
I-
get that
yeah.
100%. But what I'm saying is, it's very easy to take a Wagyu brisket that is marbled to all ends
And
of
make
the
it
earth
tender. Yes.
and make it tender and
Yes.
make it taste great, versus cooking a choice brisket, that a natural all Angus brisket, and make it taste money.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Okay.
I'm just saying, there's the difference. The skill set involved with taking this tough ass, less marbled piece of meat and turning it into a freaking gem,
Yeah.
versus taking just a Kobe piece of meat and you're like, I just took this Kobe piece of meat and I made it super tender and juicy. Here you go.
No,
Chef kiss. You're like,
yeah.
So next competition,
right.
we need to do choice.
You made a Corvette
We need to do
fast.
choice.
Great.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Yeah, I made a Corvette fast.
Yeah.
Right.
There it is.
So how about this? So what I want to hear from you is that we should start our brisket barbecue association, and what we do is we provide the brisket for
It's
you
choice only.
as a round table thing, just like you do a steak.
Certified Black Angus choice.
It's like you do a steak
Yeah.
cook-off, and you go pick out. Hey, you got 10 seconds to pick out your steak. You know,
10 seconds.
Yeah.
We talked about that
Our-
several times, but everybody has to cook on the same, like,
No, I don't care what you cook
Pit.
on. No, you everybody has the same select or choice brisket. You're fine.
No,
we talked about that on
the
Picking.
cheapest stick burner you can get at a Walmart,
No.
like a char
I
grill
want
or
good
whatever.
stuff,
You know,
man.
that's what you
Old
have to cook
Smoky.
on.
No, I don't care about that.
No electricity.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
No pellet. Okay, but past that, you're fine. Great. Okay.
Okay.
Good. We can cook on charcoal. Charcoal and wood.
All I'm saying is,
No
if
electricity.
there's any pit manufacturers out there that want to sponsor this cook-off, if there's anybody, charcoal manufacturer that wants to sponsor this cook-off, go ahead and reach out to John. John, throw out the link there.
Yeah.
John at grabthemandthebrisket.com, or just leave us a message, 434-829-2299. We can make this shit happen. That would be
No, 100%.
freaking
100%.
fun.
Dude, I'm
Grabbing the
telling
Brisket will host it. We'll bring celebrity judges in to judge the whole thing. I think we can make this happen. As like,
It'll be a big deal.
We've been talking about it for
I
a
got a
while,
spot.
and we've talked to a lot of people
I
in
got
the
the
barbecue.
perfect spot.
We've
Yeah.
talked to people in the barbecue industry, and a lot of them talked about this too.
Yeah.
About like, you know, how do you separate some of these people a little bit? You know,
Okay.
I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, it'd
I
be
can
awesome.
make a few. Let's make a few inquiries.
Oh, we can make it happen. If you got a spot, like that's the bit for me. I think that's the hardest part is finding some place to host it.
rent the VFW.
My yard is not big enough.
Rent the
My
VFW.
yard.
Yeah, we got it.
yeah, we're gonna make it a $1.2 million prize purse.
Okay.
At one point.
Yeah. Don't quote
but-
us on that. But
We're gonna
Entry
need,
into the competition is
We're gonna need Elon
$200,000.
Musk.
Nope.
We're gonna need Elon Musk and X and Joe Rogan, all these guys to jump on board.
If it's 1.2, I will quit the podcast and enter myself.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. We're judging, dude. What are you talking about?
We're gonna need $100,000 entry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show up there with a mask like Marshmallow. You want to know who I am?
Hey, James, real quick, in this picture right now, this what was this a prime?
It was a HEB Prime.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people fail. So
compared to brisket
the,
number one,
the old style, I was like, there's a lot of times where we're like, we just cut away just inedible like stuff. We're like, we're not going to eat this, so we're going to cut into it. We're going to gouge this whole brisket out. Look, this one looks like it's a meteorite, but this is our things. We load this pan up with all the beef broth and all the savory juices and stuff like that.
Looks so good.
And then we cover it with the full pan and we stick the probe into it. And then once it heats, once it reaches that internal temperature that we're looking for, boom, we pull it off. And then you unwrap it and you're like, man, my goodness, that thing looks gorgeous. And you have all that au jus just at your begging and call right there.
Yeah.
And so once you get things sliced up, you just like drizzle that all over everything and then
Eat.
Yeah.
Look, I will say this right here. We'll just go back, and I think we had like 5 or 6. Maybe we're at 6 now on 7 things. But I will say the one thing that I think people are screwing up on in competitions is they're not cutting their briskets down far enough. And you've got to measure the box, come in about 1/4 of an inch on each side, right? So,
Or you're ready to wrap that thing like a horseshoe.
right. But so if you're in the competition box now, you're seeing perfectly laid brisket that goes edge to edge, and it's squared, and that's the way it looks. So if you're not doing that and you're not stacking your slices in there, and they're not coming out perfectly the same thickness, the same width, and the same width or whatever else, all the way layered all the way through there, like your points are coming off, and within 1 point, some of these, the CBA, it's in fractions, like it's what holds you out.
all these cook-offs come
Done.
down to just
It's
tenths,
the detail.
tenths of a point.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it comes like, oh shit, I came in like 15th. And then you actually do the math and see, you're like, dude, I was like 1 point off from being like 3rd place.
That's it.
And what could I have done? And beautiful thing about some of these competitions, they're actually giving you the feedback.
Right.
So you can sit there and start working on some of that stuff. So really appreciate that.
Yeah, and you mentioned a second ago about get to that temperature you're looking for and you pull it. So that's the other thing. If you're gonna switch from doing a prime to doing a Wagyu or something in competition, you got to know that that's not going to finish at the same temperature, right?
That's right.
You either got to learn to go more by how it feels, or you better figure out what temperature you need to pull it at, because it's not going to be the same.
You really want to make a competition hard? No probes, no temp gauge.
No, nobody's
poking only.
Poke it with your fingers.
cook to a temperature.
No, you can poke with a stick.
Yeah,
Cowboy
no,
that
we're
shit.
fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
It's like some of the old school guys who talk about they didn't
definitely.
use a temp gauge, they never probed anything, stick a toothpick in or whatever, and they
can
can
only-
tell when it was
Everybody's
done.
got to wear blindfolds.
Yeah,
We're
cooking
like,
on a
what?
campfire.
You go back far enough, it's gonna be a caveman cook.
Right.
It's just gonna be an open fire. With a piece
Right,
of
that's
brisket
it.
on
How
top,
crazy
like-
would that be though?
It would be ridiculous. You'd be like, I'm not doing that.
Be a lot of shitty briskets.
No, but I don't mind the fact that you have to pick. We'll provide all the briskets. It's a round table thing. You draw numbers, and you cook them one brisket. So it's whatever place you get, it's whatever place you get.
Kind of like the steak cook-offs.
That's right.
They provide them.
You got to find it. We just did one, and it's kind of intimidating because they put you on the clock. You have 30 seconds to pick out a steak.
They're yelling at you. Hurry up. Hurry up.
Hey,
Hurry up.
hurry. I was like, dude,
30 seconds, hurry up.
I made one lap around the table. I'm like, Jesus, dude, I don't know which one I want.
Yeah. They're like, I'll flip this motherfucker table over.
I know, right? Ain't nobody getting a steak.
Nobody gets
I'm
a
licking
steak.
all the steaks.
Good look.
Dude,
Picking pebbles off your steak.
That's right. And then do natural wood or charcoal burning things. No electricity, right? Nothing to power your pit.
Well,
And
initially,
you're ready to go.
a lot of the competitions that we have gotten
No, I know.
part of, you can use electricity. You can use stuff to start your fire.
Yeah.
After that, it is on the fire to cook your meat.
For wood burning, we get that.
Wood burn.
Yeah. But we get all that. But I'm just saying, like, so could we go the other way with it? And it's like, if you don't have a pellet grill, you can't get in.
You have to have a pellet grill?
Yeah, you have give us a pellet grill. If we're going to do one, we got to do the other, and we got to see like which one's better. Which brisket was better coming off? Can you tell the difference of which brisket? We used to only pellet grill, or do we have a pellet grill versus a wood
Team
burning?
pellet grill, team
Yeah,
Team offset.
Team offset?
Team drum. Maybe we do that. Maybe we do
that'd be
like
interesting.
Oh,
3 or 4 different teams. Yeah.
Put them all together. All right, what are you? Let's go.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, there's some rules we got to break down here and figure out. Yeah.
All right, just stay
All right.
tuned.
Any other thoughts or anything on the competition brisket scene? Anything else people should be thinking about when you're slicing your brisket, turning in your brisket? Anything? You
I
need
mean,
to
we
think
could sit
about
here
or
all
look at?
night just going into
Well,
all of
I,
it. But
I think this is going to be a discussion that we're going to have for probably the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
And I know we have a Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo coming up here, the World Championship Barbecue. So you'll have a lot of other different episodes that are popping up here. But I think we're trying to focus on brisket here shortly. So we got into competition brisket. There's going to be a lot of backyard brisket talk and just a lot of just brisket and talk in general.
Yep.
So anybody out there that is listening along, it's like, hey, please send your questions in. Ask. I did a live the other night, and there was several people that popped in. One notably, a gentleman from Nebraska was talking about doing competition barbecue, and I guess he had an issue with there weren't a lot of competitions that were going on in his area, and he was talking about a slowdown of competitions that were happening. I was like, we're not really seeing that on our side.
Well, it's cold there.
Right.
It's like, dude, it's like 20 out there.
The
It's like,
cows are frozen,
there's
bro.
snow. Yeah.
You go over there, tip cows, and you're just like, and it just falls
Yeah,
over.
they crack.
Like,
They crack
leg-
open.
Leg
Yeah.
breaks off.
like Terminator, just like got hit with liquid nitrogen, just like shattered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Damn. Yeah.
So what next week it'll be some of those same tips, but
Yeah,
for the
I think
backyard
so.
cooker.
Well, yeah, either that or we can just keep going into it. I mean, like we can keep going into competition for the next couple of weeks or for the next whatever, and then go right into backyard. I think there's a lot of things that we've left out.
There's a lot we've left on the
tonight.
table to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we could definitely dive into plating. We can dive into cutting, the methodology behind keeping your brisket looking moist and not looking dried out. Right?
Resting
Oxidizing.
resting brisket. I don't think
Exactly.
we
I was
talk about
fixing to say
resting.
Oxidizing.
resting. Yeah.
And I just listen. I mean, like the more we give out, and obviously we want to give this information out. We just want you to tune in and listen to us and come back for more. So, but yeah, I think
There's
we
a
have
lot more to cover.
we have a plenty to discuss when it comes to this. And then obviously when you go into the backyard cooking, I think there's not just a backyard cook. It's like, okay, great. It's a longer cook. You're afforded more opportunities to really hone in on how this thing should taste. Maybe I don't necessarily think there's a difference in flavor so much so, but there probably is, because if you want, in my opinion, maybe a little more traditional on a backyard cook. But I think we get into that, and I think you can get into
Backyard cooks are fun, bro. That's the fun ones,
well,
right? For me.
it's the ones
really
where
play with it.
where you've got 6 to 8, 10 people showing up, and you're like, how do I wow this? How do I bring this to a different level to where I've got 15, 20 people showing up, and I'm fixing to change some vegetarians, over
Right.
to
Convert 'em.
Yeah, and listen. Don't act like we haven't done this before, because I know for a fact James has converted 2 vegetarians into meat eaters.
true.
How many lesbians have you converted?
Yeah. We don't, James, you want to answer the question now, or you want to do it off the mic?
I can attest to people that look
Yeah.
to me in the camera and go,
shit.
shit, I like guys now.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
But I do know vegetarians
God.
too.
2. That's right. 2 vegetarians converted over to eating, and so much so that one was a guy that used to eat meat but then didn't, and he was just like, "Hey man, like I didn't think it'd be like this."
He
but
probably just ate
I
a bunch
need-
of dry ass brisket. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't
right.
need that meat anymore. I'm just eating green beans.
Because
you
I
know?
need this. No, I think the wife was pushing him or whatever.
Oh.
But anyways, they both were like, "Well, this is pretty damn good." But yeah, I mean, get into that, but just get into like even trying to put together an event or whatever else. I mean, like there's a whole lot of stuff we can get into about this. We have not done, and I don't know if do we have a beer tonight?
We do.
think
Let's
I would-
we
I
talked
would-
about brisket. Let's talk about beer.
I would love to talk about some beer. What kind of beer do we got, real quick?
Well, let's talk about what we're going to do here first.
Oh.
This is going to be the grabbing the brisket.
Beer review. Let's go, baby.
So we had talked before about getting some beers that are more available to
Yeah.
our audience. And James even busted out here.
I got you, man.
It's the Leffe beer.
Leffe?
Leffe.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Leffe. Yep.
There.
So I've seen this one all around. Like
Leaf.
anytime I've gone to a
The Leaf beer.
I think it's Leffe.
Leffe. Leaf.
no, it's Leffe. Well, you can. It's not Leffe for sure.
It's
Take
Luffy.
one,
It's
take
Leaf.
one, take one to pass it down there, Jan. Oh, never mind.
Oh, this
I only
is
got 2 of
fancy. It has full.
Yeah, full.
It's got the full on top.
So this one, I'm pretty sure you can find this
6.6 or-
all over the country.
I wish they
Like
would
in a
use
Specs.
butcher paper.
I wish it was a
that would
twist
be our
top.
beer.
Hey,
Right?
is it twist off?
It's not. So who's got the can opener, the bottle opener? I know Alex always has us down. So yeah.
Okay, pass them back to Alex.
Just rotate.
Tell us a little bit about this beer here.
So this is a
Matthew?
Belgium. We've had some Belgian beers before. I don't think you guys have had too many of them, but it's a Belgian beer, and
Yeah, keep talking. Great. It says Leaf. It's a Belgian
I'm ready to take
ale,
that one.
Abbey Blonde. Is it a blonde? 6.6 alcohol by volume. Go ahead and take it away, Matt.
yeah, and it's got some subtle notes of vanilla and cloves. This is like like I think this is more like a Trappist ale. We had this before,
Cloves.
like the ones made by the monks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I think
I
this
don't know what
is
you're talking about.
this one is like I was saying, pretty readily available everywhere.
It's a kind of cool looking bottle. It's very
I do
different.
like these. I do like these beers because there's a big. Would you say? I'm not really saying like stain on just American beer, but nationally, globally, people just think American beer is just like piss water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like. There's been a. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. We're getting
There's
so
a
much
pause there.
feedback from right away, putting her glasses on, like fidgeting around
Yeah.
with stuff. So just kind of like, hey,
My
man,
bad.
what are
That
you
was
doing?
me.
Yeah, I know who it was.
There's a couple of places that we visit.
Sorry, I had to open
maybe it's like
everybody's
Rice
fucking
Village
beer.
or whatever. But there's a G-Man. There's
Yeah.
a couple of places that have these beers on tap that we can go and try. We don't do it. We haven't done it a long time ago. But I like doing these types of beer.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I love them too.
You say
James.
readily available? I've never even seen this beer.
Yeah, it's-
I've seen this at anything time you go beyond like a gas station. So once you get to a specs level, I've seen this beer. I've
never
seen
seen
this
this.
actually at gas stations too. So I figured this is something the greater audience can probably get their hands
Well,
on.
Leffe actually has its history and origin in the Notre Dame de Leffe, an abbey premenstruation. What does that say? Sorry, I can't read that. This goes back a bit. Founded in 1152.
pre-modern
That's what I see. So,
Association, the canonical Norbensteins, like monks, live in
Yeah,
the community
they-
according
you
to
forgot the
certain
B.
rules. However, in canyons or cannons,
Yeah.
have a very open vision and like engage in the people around them.
Yeah.
That is why it's surprisingly that since the foundation of the abbey, the Norbensteins were known for the special attention they paid to welcome guests and pilgrims. The numerous pilgrims who passed through the abbey always found the door open, but not only that.
we're not going to
There
read
it
this
is.
whole thing. Are?
Yeah.
1240.
Started 1240s when this started getting brewed.
A lot of these like
Leffe.
Trappist ales, Abbey
Leaf.
ales, and things like that, they've been around forever.
Yeah. Anyways, it didn't taste that old.
Wait, 1,000. Hey, let's just stop for a second. 1,240, man. 1240. This is where this little gem comes from. Great pickup, man.
Yeah.
Great pickup.
I don't know if I would call this a common beer like you're trying
Yeah.
to play it off to be, but I'm
right.
sure it can be found. Probably easier than.
Commoners.
I like how Alex just pours
Been
into
some
a
of 'em.
shot glass
Yeah,
and
I-
shoots
No,
it.
and the
when you
reason
get outside
I
of
am,
domestics,
I'll tell you
right.
the reason I am pouring it in here.
Yeah, why are you pouring it there?
Because most beers that you have to open with a bottle opener, they always have that same little taste around the rim. Does anybody else ever get that?
Kind of a shit. What's it called?
it's like a
Yeah, it's
like
a
a
shit taste.
glue taste or something. And I got that with that, so I figured I'm going to pour it in a little shot glass.
I'm sure this is better if you pour it in a glass, like most beers are.
Yeah. So I poured it in little shot glasses I had in there. I'm going to take a sip, see if it tastes any different. Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're right though. This could probably be found pretty much anywhere if you are looking.
This is
for
a
it.
good freaking beer.
I think
It
so
is-
too.
it
This
is
is very
good
good.
beer.
You definitely don't get that little weird taste.
Oh, my God. Such a good beer.
It has a strong malty aroma too.
Do I love it?
It reveals like a sweet
perfect to
bitterness.
enhance Abbey cheese.
Nice.
And the
5 degrees Celsius. You might see that.
Saint Jacques
Yeah.
scallops and creme brulees.
So I do know it's from.
Sad we don't have the creme brulees.
Yeah, right.
Or the
That's why I
scallops.
should start. Every time I bring a beer, I have to bring like a food to pair it with.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe we should.
No.
It's fine. We should
Anyway.
do something.
I'm telling you, it's very important
hey,
to the
next-
class.
Hey, can
Next
we,
week,
can we
we're
get into
pairing
scoring?
a beer with like Waffle House.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm bringing Budweiser.
Natural
Two
light.
Reserve Miller Light.
Hey, what? So what are we comparing this right here? I'm not are scoring this at. Where are we at with this? Because I
Are
like
you
the
asking
beer.
us to
You
score?
want? Yeah, you want to
I'm
go
asking
first?
the score.
Go first, Jan.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Take another sip. Swash it around.
This makes for great podcast content. Just the quiet.
That's a 8-9.
Raul's gonna.
8-9.
It's an 8-9.
Yeah.
It's that good of a beer.
What do you like about it?
There's a subtle little maltiness to this. It's very clean, refreshing. You're not getting. You're getting a. There's a body to this that just seems very crisp. I don't know. It's really good.
Can I say it smells freaking great too? I feel like I should be drinking this out of like a goblet to like
to
really
me, it's
appreciate
almost a little floral, but then I almost get like a little bit of a Heineken kind of smell, which makes me like, eh.
I know.
But when you
I get
taste
like a
it's not there.
banana bread kind of thing
Oh, I'm
going
not
on
getting
with
that
this,
at
but
all.
not really bananas, but you know like that moist kind of like
drabs.
homemade bread. I
Nutty,
get that.
Yeah, I could see that. I guess.
I'm right there with you, Jan. I'm trying to decide if I go into the nines,
Yeah.
like 8-9, 9-1 area. That's where
Yeah.
I'm at.
It's
I
a
love
good
these
freaking
Belgium
beer. Yeah.
Trappist kind of beers. So
So where are you at?
I think I'm with you. I think 8.9.
8-9.
Yeah,
There it is.
I think
Great-
if I poured
it's
it in a
great
glass,
score.
it'd be a 9. But
Great score, buddy.
8-9 right now.
Who's next? I'll go.
Everybody's looking at.
What you got?
I'll go.
What you got, Alex?
Yeah, Alex, what do you got?
Y'all like it more than I do.
Oh, well, hang on, Mike's out.
Okay. Keep.
All right. Y'all like it more than I do. It's a great beer. But I'm gonna have to go with 7.3.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a great score, man.
Hey, he's saying it's
Cass,
It's a really
what
good
do you think
beer.
it's missing? Like, what would make it like an 8 or 9?
I don't know. I feel like the beer is what it is. Like it has great flavor, good smell.
Just is what it
it's
is.
just not hitting for you.
No, it's good. It's a good beer.
7.3 means it's very good in your book. So
Which
And
is
it's
not
definitely
great.
better when I poured it in the little glass because you get rid
Yeah.
of the funky glue taste that they put on the top of
it.
them.
Yeah. It's the sealer.
Because I
part.
would have gone with like 6s if I would have gone with that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
no, it's a 7.3. I like it. I definitely drink another one.
I like it too. I think this is really freaking good. And I'm 100% like I couldn't figure out what the taste was until one of y'all read it or I saw it up there.
I
The
read it.
clove.
This
Clove,
I read
Y'all
it.
getting that clove off of this?
Cloves.
I didn't read the
Dude,
clove.
That is good. Like I'm totally 100%
Where
getting
you
the
at
clove
right
flavor.
now? Don't play with this. Where
I'm
you
gonna
at?
go 9-1. This is really
You're a
good.
9-1. I was
This
doing
is really
right here.
good.
Come on.
This
Let's
is
bring
really
it in,
good.
dude.
I really like this.
Fuck yeah.
Well, I guess I messed this up.
Why? It's your score.
Well, no, I'm saying for top 10 or whatever.
What you got, James?
It wasn't in top 10. There's no way. It's good, but not that good.
James doesn't like it.
He likes it.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
He's pulling a Jan.
It's very
Sorry
dramatic.
Sorry to
Burst your bubble. Okay.
make this one of the highest beers I've ever tasted. No, that's not true because I'm not going to put it out super high, but this is a really good beer.
Yeah.
It's in the 9s.
Oh.
He goes, it's in the
Okay, you're really
9s.
milking this, James.
Yeah.
The
What are you at,
spotlight
James?
on him.
Yeah. Everybody else is like, just fucking score.
Score it.
Let's go.
90-second beer review. What are you doing?
91 second.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 9.4.
9-4. 9-4 is a
go.
great score.
Wow.
Look at that, guys. Man, we collectively, I think we have
My
scored
first time
this.
back in forever, and I won't be invited back again.
Yeah, I think collectively we have scored this beer really high.
No.
We have 7s, we have 8s, we have 9s. I think that if this is like your indication whether you want to go out and try this beer, you're on the fence with it or anything else, don't be on the fence.
Yeah, go try it.
Go out and try
Well,
this
it's a good beer.
Try this beer for yourself. It's 6.6. I'm sorry, the alcohol's coming through. It's 6.6 alcohol by volume, and it has a beautiful taste to this. The bottle's phenomenal. It looks very classic, in my opinion, and very OG. So,
Old English writing on
yeah,
it.
it's beautiful, man. So it's a blonde. Love it.
Yeah. You probably won't find it at your gas station, but if you hit up your local Total Wine or something, you'll probably find it pretty easy.
Let's go.
So does wrap up the
Grab them in the brisket.
Appreciate if you would do that.
You appreciate it when I do.
Yeah. So I guess have we talked about the barbecue wins and barbecue fails?
We have a barbecue fail tonight.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, it's a fail.
Because
You
I would
ruined it.
love.
Or win a barbecue win or fail
okay.
tonight. We have a something from someone sent in.
something from
Ooh,
someone.
I don't want to give anything away.
Here's the
at
deal.
this
I
point.
would love to get into the something in the someone, whatever for
Sounds
the barbecue
very
wins and fails.
secretive.
Because
I see cheese up there. It's gonna melt.
Okay, yeah. Hey.
For
roll
all-
that beautiful cheese footage.
Hey man, my name is Kunchi from Cooking with Kunchi on
Kunchi.
Instagram. Recently, I tried to smoke some cheddar cheese, and you know what? I did not research properly at all. So what I did, I put it in my pellet smoker because I'm like, this is going to be good, consistent temp. I set it to the lowest. It would go 160 degrees, and I set the cheese on there, and I walked away for about an hour and a half. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be
it's so
enough
good.
time. And I came back, and
Yeah, that's what I expected.
the cheese was nice and smoky, but my cheddar was just now a goop of cheddar.
Ugh.
That my burgers don't even get that melty cheese.
Where did it go?
What happened? to it?
I'm working on a solution because failure is always the beginning.
There it is.
So just wanted to share that with you guys.
I have a
Love what
suggestion
you
on
do on
this.
the podcast. Big ups.
Let's go, man.
Appreciate
Cooking
it.
with
And just
Kunchi,
real,
man.
just
That's
real
our-
quick
that's
for
our
the people
boy.
for the people
That's
who
our
are just
boy.
listening.
Yeah.
He's got 2 blocks of cheese on the smoker, and the before shot is just the 2 chunks sitting there. And then the next shot is there's no basically any cheese left. There's like some cheddar
Right.
melted
Yeah.
on it. Just melted straight through the grates.
Can we
down
talk about the
bottom.
melting point of cheese?
Yeah. So, anyway.
I have a suggestion for this.
Yeah. Don't do it.
It doesn't matter if it's what you're putting it in.
Yeah.
Use a small like smoke chamber, like the little tube where
Yeah,
you
use
can
the
light.
smoke tube, pellet tube, 100%. And even
Use
it
that.
doesn't matter.
Put
even
it in there. It's not going to create as much heat to
Yeah.
melt your cheese, but it will give you smoke in the chamber.
The cold
100%.
smoke. Talking about a cold
Yeah, it's a
smoke.
cold smoke.
Yeah,
Yes,
cold
and that's-
smoke
that's
is
what it has to
it's
be
a
like.
money way to go.
Even with that, even with just a smoke tube,
Yeah.
you got to
Put
be
it as
careful.
far away from it
right,
as you
right.
can.
'Cause
The
if it's a
cheese
hot
on
day,
one side.
you're still. I did exactly what you're saying, but I did it in a Weber, and it was hot outside. I came back. It looked just like that shit.
Yeah, you
I was
can't-
like, well, fuck. There's 3 blocks of cheese all over the inside of a Weber.
I've also seen
Can't do
people
that.
Yeah,
put
you can't do
like a pan underneath with ice
Yeah. That can help too.
to keep the cheese from melting.
If you're not familiar with our boy Kunchi that called in there, he was on the show back on episode 176. Go back
Wow,
and
you have
listen
that
to that
memory.
one.
That's
I
amazing.
remember every
Jeez.
single episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking
I
with
remember you
Kunchi,
first
man.
came on
Fucking
episode
Rain Man, just
24. So,
Hey, how many toothpicks am I dropping on the floor here?
78.
900,
76.
definitely
78.
943. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Raymond.
No, man. I think. Hey, thank you so much for sharing that. I guess we all know what you want, right? You want some Sucklebusters. Everybody wants some Sucklebusters. Let's go. Cooking with Kunchi, man. You can see him do his videos, his brand. It's
Instagram,
yes,
TikTok.
100%. It's cool. We it's been cool just getting to be around the guy and to
He goes live a lot, and he does have his
He
own
does.
seasonings and rubs, and
That's
he does
right.
a lot of that like Jamaican jerk stuff.
Dude,
really tasty shit. So
I've used it.
I'll put some links down below so you guys can find that stuff too.
I've ranted, I've raved over the it's the curry.
African curry. That was my favorite.
Dude, it was so flipping good. I used some steaks. I've done chicken. I've done vegetables. I've done kebabs. I mean, it is phenomenal. It's so damn good.
You may not know that. So we had the conversation with Dan Arnold, Sucklebusters seasoning. He loves the jingle.
Yeah, so we put out an album.
He may just steal your voice and just AI that shit. And you're gonna see a commercial like maybe another month from now. Just like.
You
They
might
need, to
get
bring,
some
they need to
royalties
bring those back
every
into
time.
commercials.
Hey,
Remember, like in the '90s, everything was like, you know,
I'm
like
just gonna-
Mentos, like had a jingle.
Right.
Like Double Mint gum had a
Look,
jingle.
Double mint, go on and double it.
Hey, dude, I'm just gonna pay,
With all the twins.
Let's just pay like a guy on Fiverr who can take that whole snippet and just drop it into a beat, and you know what I mean?
Little
And
tech mode,
Yeah,
like-
and just run it, out, dude. Right?
Yeah.
And then we'll send it back to him like,
Sucklebusters.
this is what you could have had, right? Hey, you owe us.
Okay.
You owe us.
Here's your.
Hey, speaking of paying a guy, we're gonna have to pay Raoul double if we stick around here any
I know.
longer.
Yeah,
So
so
we should probably.
Well, it
wrap
doesn't
this
matter.
up.
We'll
Put
just
a
pay.
bow on it.
We'll just pay him again in a week or two. It's fine.
hey, how come nobody handed him one of these Leffe beers?
What are you talking about? Roll it and drink.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
dry.
yeah. Okay, fine. That's a good excuse, I guess.
Jesus, man. Okay. Hey, thank you so much, man. It's been so great. No, I'm just kidding.
He was
That's
like-
not your line,
Yeah,
bro.
I'm
That's
just
not
kidding.
your line, bro.
No, hey, listen, I've had a blast with this tonight. I think the energy has been so high. And I love the fact that we got into barbecue and
So much more brisket talk
yeah,
coming, bro.
and we have so much more coming out. So stay tuned to this. And yeah, it's been cool, man. So peace out.
Guys,
Thanks,
hey,
everybody. We've been great.
It's been great talking barbecue.
Peace. Smoke on.
As we close out, big thanks to SmokerBuilder.com and the NBBQA for their unwavering support.
Absolutely. And cheers to Barbecue News Magazine, Sucklebusters, and Dalstrong Knives for their contributions.
And you know Yeti always has our back, and CoolieNation ensures our drinks stay perfectly cold.
Lastly, props to Cambro Manufacturing and, of course, the Spicy Nut, the Chicks of Smoke Seasoning. Thanks to all for powering this show.
Until next time, keep smoking.